welcome to... Oh wait. Hello everyone, welcome to a video of mine. Finally a use for my monotone voice. Today I'm going to be showing you some horror stories, true horror stories that I've heard. They're either mine, a family member's, nothing specific here. But if I run out, be sure to comment any horror stories that you've encountered. Make sure it's true. I don't know how you make sure it's true. But if it's super scary, I'll probably put it in one of these videos since it's gonna be a series. I cannot wait. I have so much horror stories, especially for my family. You guys have no idea. Oh my gosh. Anyways, speaking of the comment section, I haven't been giving much of a shout out for the last 2 videos, so I'm gonna give some out right now. Alright, so here are the shout outs. Shout out to MX0460 and Rita Gamer XD. Thank you guys for your sweet comments. And if you want to get a shout out, comment something nice or something funny and I'll pick my favorite one for the next video. I hope, if I don't forget. Anyways, let's get into the first story. I forgot to use my monotone voice, my bad. Hello everyone, voiceover Epi here. I don't know why I decided to do this at almost 2 a.m. in the morning, but yeah, we're doing it right now. Alright, so the first story is titled The Restroom Lady. My aunt told me this story when she was pregnant with my cousin when this happened. I'm not sure the exact year, but it was probably 10 to 15 years ago. She was working in this electronics factory and she was on a rotating night shift, so she was about, I think, like 6 or 7 months pregnant, probably 6 months. And she had to work at night, which means the graveyard shift. So for those working at night, her supervisor would advise everyone to not go to the restroom alone and to find a partner to go in groups because it might be dangerous if you're by yourself and no one knows where you went. So one night, her best friend was working with her, and since she was pregnant, she had to frequently go to the restroom a lot. Then, one time she had to be really bad and her friend wasn't available as she was stuck with work, so since she couldn't wait any longer, she decided to go by herself. There were 2 restrooms that were open for use. One is on the 2nd floor and the other on the 4th floor. But a lot of people just go to the one on the 2nd floor because it's nearer. The 4th floor was actually for another department, but they don't work that late. So it was about 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, probably around 2 a.m. in the morning, and she went to the restroom on the 2nd floor, but there was a lot of people, so she had to wait in line. However, she couldn't hold it any longer, so she decided to run up to the 4th floor instead. She had to climb the stairs as the elevators were under maintenance. As she walked up the stairs, she saw another lady walking in front of her. She continued walking without suspecting anything, but as she was observing the lady, it seemed like the lady was wearing a very unique dress. It's kind of old-fashioned, it's white and frilly, it doesn't look like it's allowed to be worn for work. She was wondering who this lady was, but she really needed to pee urgently. She didn't think much about it. She saw the lady go into the restroom door. She waddled as fast as she could towards the door, hoping all the cubicles are empty. The minute she entered, she saw another lady. Not the lady in the white earlier, but another one, standing in front of the mirror. Without thinking much, she quickly went into the cubicle to relieve herself. When she's done, she got out and went to the sink to wash her hands. The creepy lady was still standing in front of the mirror, but the other lady who was in the old-fashioned dress was nowhere to be seen. But this person standing in front of the mirror was acting weird. She was just looking at my aunt through the reflection and smiling so widely, just staring and smiling without saying anything, and she looks like a Southeast Asian lady, probably late 40s. My aunt just smiled and quickly went out of the restroom because she felt weird and kind of creeped out. She returned safely to her working area and told her best friend what happened. Best friend just laughed it off and said that, it could have been someone trying to play a prank on her or scare her, and so they both ignored it, but my aunt made sure to avoid going there again. So the next day, my aunt had a high fever and had to report sick. She got 5 days of medical leave as the doctor told her to have a sufficient bed rest. Then the next day, she received a telephone call and it was her best friend frantically speaking to her on the phone. She said, oh my god, what you said is true. I went to the 4th floor in the restroom and I saw her. I saw that scary lady standing in front of the mirror too, but what happened to me was worse. She said when she got out of the bathroom, she got up to clean herself and turned to flush, but when she turned around, the lady was right behind her in the cubicle. Oh my god. The lady said,
"Let me clean it for you."
okay, yeah, that kind of creeps me out a little. Oh my aunt's friend screamed and fainted in the cubicle, and she was brought to the hospital where she fell sick as well. She had, high fever and stuff, and she never really recovered from that incident. Ever since then, my aunt didn't go back to the same place because she was very scared for her pregnancy for a baby, so she immediately resigned and worked elsewhere. So rumor has it that there was that happened in the restroom. In that restroom on the 4th floor, the cleaning lady was said to have lost her husband tragically, so she smashed the mirror and used the glass and right there in front of the sink, near the cubicle that my aunt's best friend was in. The end. Alright guys, so that's the end of that story. You might think it's funny at first, but then you'll find yourself turning around once in a while when you're in the bathroom. Alright, let's get on with the second story. Alright, so this story is a little shorter than the other one, but it's called The Doppelganger. The story was told by my grandmother. She used to live in a small village that was near a developing town. One day she got back from work. It was close to probably 7 in the evening, so it started to get dark. She was walking slowly towards her house, and then she saw something that alarmed her. She has a veranda that oversees the front lawn, therefore she would be able to see anyone sitting in the veranda, as there's a rocking chair at the side. As she walked quickly towards the house, she saw that it was her grandma that was sitting on the rocking chair, but facing the other way, so she couldn't see her face. Her grandma was a smoker, and so she saw the smoke puffing out. She suddenly thought, why would her grandma be smoking out here? Because she was sick and she should be in bed. She reached the house and looked at her grandma, puffing away. Even though she only saw the back of her head, she could see the smoke and even smelt it. Her grandma suddenly raised her hand and gestured for her to come nearer. She was tired from work and had a lot of house chores waiting, so she suddenly got really angry and started nagging loudly while stomping to her bedroom, which she shared with her grandma. She said to her grandma that she shouldn't be smoking and that she should be in bed and should take her medicine, and not smoking away and destroying her health. Then, suddenly, she stopped short in front of her room. What she saw really freaked her out. Her grandma was in the bed, looking sick, and was just sleeping there quietly. She approached her sleeping grandma and looked carefully at her. If her grandma was in bed, then who the heck was outside smoking, looking exactly like her? She slowly crept out to the veranda and peeked outside. No one was there. Not even the cigarette smoke can be seen. She felt her hair stood up on its end, and a chill running up her spine. Quickly, she closed all the windows and doors and said a silent prayer of protection for her sick grandma. The end. Alright, so that's the second story. Pretty creepy, isn't it? Just a reminder, these are all true stories. If you don't trust me, that's okay. Anyway, it's 3:30 a.m. It's time for me to go before I go insane. Here's the outro. Alright, so that's all the horror stories I will be telling today. I'm so sorry if it's a little short. I'll try to make longer videos in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe to support my channel. Have a nice day / night. Goodbye. Don't look behind you, by the way. Hee I saw that scary escalator. What she saw. Are you kidding me?